We're doing some dealership hopping here in downtown Tokyo. We stumbled upon a Volvo dealership. They only sell, well, actually this is a showroom. They don't actually sell cars here, but this is an electric only showroom. You see the XC40 and then the C40 recharge models, but I was really surprised that there's David, Automotive Press, giving me the tour of Japan. And then we have this EX30 here, built in China. And this is going to be a subscription-only model here in Japan. Very, very, very low volume. But this is my first time hands-on here with the EX30. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed overall. The design, we got the Thor's hammer headlights with the beautiful nighttime lights on the very bottom and top. Very simple and basic front end here. But we have kind of that classic Volvo hood as well. I just drove the V60 recently, and the V60 has a similar hood, similar design. And you see that design also on the C40 and XC40. Massive wheels here. And since this is in Japan, it is right-hand drive. I set the seat up for me earlier, so it is set up for me at 6'1". Kind of a cloth here, and then the synthetic leather here at the bottom. It's very soft and squishy materials here. Now, if you guys haven't seen any other Volvo EX30 videos, there's no wiring in the door, so no speakers, no switches, no controls. Check out how the door, we have like a floating armrest here, and it gives us more space on here as well. But like these are all recycled materials, kind of like that epoxy covering here, which I really, really like. And closing the door, the seat actually opened up for me and went to a memory setting, but it's not my memory settings. I'm going to back it off. I like this kind of squarish steering wheel. You have a little eye scanner here. There is no head-up display, and there's no display for speedometer here. It's like a Tesla. It's all going to be in this Google Automotive setup here, which I'm not going to play with too much, but it is functional here in this car just sitting on the showroom floor. We have the Harman Kardon soundbar with no speakers in the door, and we also have the ambient lighting going on around this recycled plastic dash. Pretty neat. The rear windows, if you want to use them, you actually have to press that button and then operate them through the same switches you would use the front windows. So that's a little bit different, but I guess it's a cost-cutting measure. Now, a couple wireless chargers down here, and we have USB-Cs in this little stowable storage space. I can open this up. So this doesn't open here, but if I press, spring-loaded cup holder. Now, if I want to use it as storage, I can take that out of the way, or let's fold it back out. It has a little clicking motion, so if you just have one cup in here, you can do that, or just push it down all the way to remove it. Massive sunroof in here, and it's pretty basic. I guess you could say that we have some defrost button here, but not a whole lot else. There's hardly any buttons. There's no knobs or dials. It's pretty much all through the touchscreen here, like a Tesla. Headroom in here is actually better than I was expecting it to be, despite being such a low roof line and a sloping roof line. But it does feel pretty tight. It definitely feels like a compact car. And I did pop the hood earlier. Oh, look at this, well, EX30 ornamentation. The hood is, well, there's a small compartment underneath for storage space. So you could call it a small frunk. Now, I wouldn't be able to sit back here where the seat is set up for me at 6'1". I can barely fit in the back. I have good headroom, but just not enough leg room. So definitely for shorter adults. But in the back, we do have USB-Cs and a window control back here, and a place to hold your phone, and storage space down below with a removable little tray. So you can actually access this from the front seat as well. I like having mat pockets on both sides, but yeah, big glass roof. And lastly, with the EX30, as we come to the back, kind of like that iconic D-pillar taillight that we've seen throughout the the XC90, the XC60 lineup, like the illuminated Volvo logo there, Volvo across the rear lift gate, small windshield wiper. Lifting this up, we have underfloor storage, quite a bit actually, and the seats do fold down flat. Back here stateside to finish out this quick introduction to the EX30. It is not only their smallest ever SUV, it is their fastest ever vehicle ever made. I just drove the V60 plug-in hybrid. That thing was an absolute rocket. It did 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds. This is on another level. This tiny car, which seems like an economy car, an upscale one at that,
but 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds? Are you kidding me? Now, let's talk about its efficiency and range and things like that. 275 miles. We have a fast charge time. Well, it's not the fastest, 10 to 80% in 26 and a half minutes. Now, 26 and a half kilowatt hours per 100 miles. I would rather just do miles per kilowatt hour. And that gets us to 3.77, which is pretty good. That's going to be including highway as well, which its efficiency will struggle at that point. But 3.77 with the BZ4X and around town, I was getting like 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. It was insanely efficient. And with this vehicle being even smaller than the BZ4X, I wouldn't be surprised if we can stretch this 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour to closer to 5 miles per kilowatt hour. We talked about the sound bar. There is Pilot Park or Park Pilot Assist that we see in other Volvo products as well. You have ambient illumination, 5 different themes that, you know, in the showroom I really wasn't able to test out a whole lot. Here are different paint colors. I like how they have the EX30 go. Oh man, the yellow is super cute. But I think I'd be going with this baby blue. We have 4 different interior options here. They all look super nice. I'm a huge fan, a massive fan of Volvo interiors. Check out this green, kind of like in this olive combination here with this light. Oh, it's just so pretty. Volvo. Now, I'm also a big fan of their wool seats. This is kind of like that traditional wool pattern there. But all of them look really nice, really tastefully done. I think the vehicle I was in had this breeze interior. Indigo is cute as well, but I like lighter, more happy interiors. And this pine has got that bright interior, but it's got a little moodiness to it as well with the green door panels and the green partitions to the seat. You can reserve your EX30 with just a $500 deposit. I would be interested in it, honestly. You know, I'm still interested in getting the Prius Prime, but our family needs are always changing. We have another baby on the way, so might be looking at maybe a 3-row vehicle for our next car. So it's hard to say, but if it was just me, Prius Prime or EX30 would almost be a coin flip at this point. Prius Prime built in Japan. EX30 is initially going to be built in China, imported in, but they just mentioned recently, yeah, they will be building it in Ghent, Belgium, starting in 2025. So we'll have a year or so of it being built in China and imported over, and they might keep it in America as an import from China. We talked about the all-wheel drive powertrain, but let's get into the nitty-gritty here. The base powertrain is rear-wheel drive with 268 horsepower. Guys, that is a lot of electrified power. I drove the Kona EV recently, the redesigned one, and it has around 200 horsepower, and the torque is around 195 pound-feet of torque, somewhere around there. And that did 0 to 60 in around 7 seconds, somewhere around there, 6.5, 7 seconds. I thought it was plenty fast, but this is a more upscale car. But here's the thing, is it going to cost that much more than a Kona EV being in the same segment? Not quite sure. I don't know if we have pricing on that Kona EV quite yet for the new gen, but 268 horsepower and 253 pound-feet of torque. This thing is going to be fast. I'd say 0 to 60 on this single motor will be around 6 seconds. With 275 miles of range. Now, the battery capacity is 69 kilowatt hours. Charging takes 8 hours, but that is with 11 kilowatts. I only charge about 3.5 kilowatts at home, so it would take about 2 to 3 times longer to charge from empty. So still, it would probably only take about overnight to charge it for me. All right, let's see, DC fast charging. Its peak rate is just 175 kilowatts. It's better than a lot of the competitors out there, which max out around 150, but it's nowhere near the 250 we see in the 800 volt architectures and its competitors. All right, the twin motor performance powertrain here, all-wheel drive, dual motor, 422 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque. It has the same top speed as the single motor, so it's limited. Volvo likes to limit the top speed of their cars, 265 miles of range. So isn't that amazing? You go down just 10 miles of range, yet you gain, what are we talking about, 150 horsepower? That is ridiculous. So you can have your cake and eat it too with the twin motor performance option here. Okay, so you can reserve your own vehicle for $500. You just have to put in your local dealer and check out the pricing. It's already up. Now, if you lease it, it's possible to get that $7,500 tax credit here. But Volvo has already communicated the pricing for other options. So the $34,950 is on the core model, the base model of the single motor. The dual motor only comes on the mid and high trims, which makes sense. But gosh, the amount of performance it gives you for about $45,000 is ridiculous. About 3.5 seconds, 0 to 60. But like I said, the single motor is still going to be plenty fast if you've never been in an electric vehicle before. And it tops out. You can get all the goodies for about $40,000, and you won't have the extra traction here, nor the ludicrous speed essentially. But it's still going to be faster than just about everything else on the road, even with the single motor. So I don't see the EX30 in any of these trim levels to be a bad buy due to the performance and due to the design, interior, and materials. The problem is it's just really small for most people. So I see this maybe for, gosh, you couldn't fit a rear-facing car seat in here. So this would be for couples or for people who just don't have kids, or single people out there as well. It would be an amazing vehicle for. But I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys for watching. It was a lot of fun being in Japan. Big surprise to see the EX30 there on a beautiful showroom floor. Go figure that the showroom floor that houses those Volvo electric cars in Tokyo is just as beautiful as the cars. It was unbelievable. But I got to shut it down. I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you made it this far, appreciate you. Hit the like button. Have a great day. Peace.